Back in Colorado Springs as we get set for the second quarter, and a fast-moving first quarter has a 14-10 lead in favor of Utah State. And Mike, don't they move quickly?
Really going to challenge you with tempo all night.
Bright, stop for a loss in the backfield. Santo Coppola first on the scene for Air Force defensively, second and long on the way.
And if you're Air Force, that's exactly what you want. Both defenses striving to maintain that ability to attack despite having to defend the edges. And look for Love to try and get out on the edges. This is something that Yost really wanted to emphasize with him. Spreading that ball sideline to sideline.
Well, they try to spread him out with 4 wide receivers, and the catch is made. A short pickup, though, for the Aggies. Hauled in by Zach Van Leeuwen.
You'll see it on these run-pass options. When the quarterback has that keep, he's always got the ability to throw outside. 3 short into the boundary right here.
Flooding the short side of the field. The top of your screen, 3rd down and 8 as they look back, and the Air Force fans have a chance to make a little bit more noise here. Love hands off to Bright, and Bright shut down 3 yards shy of a first. And is this possible 4-down territory here for Utah State?
With that tempo, I think you just keep up and going with it and probably line up and give them the same look and the same play. Something this offense loves to do.
Here we go, Love, and a catch is dropped. The ball is dropped by Bright and would have had a first down. Backpedaling instead, it's going to be Air Force football.
And if you're going to get up and throw it, I don't understand why you wouldn't give yourself more time there. Getting up, get to the line, and run usually helps and benefits offenses that like to push this pace, but all of a sudden you're getting your quarterback a bit out of rhythm, and this is a guy who Coach Yost stressed, and this just looks like a flat-out drop here, unfortunately, by Bright. But when you put a quarterback in that hurried-up situation, this is already a quarterback that all night you'll want to watch his feet. Coach David Yost mentioned to us when you see him start to hop, that's when he starts to get a little inaccurate, starts to sail balls. Give him time to get in rhythm, keep his feet in the right motion, and step into throws, and you get a much better quarterback in a situation where you want to keep the chains moving.
Air Force takes over on downs. And to give up the middle, and that's Stafford, not much there. So things have changed a little bit as Utah State was stopped inside their own 10. They had a punt. Air Force scored, and now they go 4 downs. They're unsuccessful, and it's Air Force football now, a chance to possibly go down and take the lead for the first time tonight.
And this is the sudden change area where your defense has to step up and thrive if you're Utah State, knowing the pace your offense likes to play in. This is what we saw with Chip Kelly, our newly rehired colleague for so many years when he was at Oregon.
There we go, Sanders. Across the 40. He's done a real nice job so far in this first half. Isaiah Sanders, sophomore out of Colorado Springs. This is 3rd game of his career. Injuries to Arion Worthman and Nate Romine. They're 2 other quarterbacks, the junior in Worthman and the senior in Romine, have forced Sanders into a starting role here tonight. And look at this, 62 yards rushing so far, not bad. 3rd down. Sanders has the first and dives into Utah State territory. Fresh set of downs for the Falcons here.
And again, every time they've lined up in that full house backfield with Sanders at the center, they've used it to cross over, get 2 blockers in front of him, and then really part the middle there. They're trying to create an easy gap and an easy read in the defense for their quarterback to exploit. But at some point tonight, they're going to have to let him air it out, maybe get a pass look off of that same formation.
Gain of 10 on the play. And you're right, here they go. As Sanders goes deep into traffic and it is intercepted. Picked off by Jamarcus Ingram for Utah State. And a big return after the pick. Ingram's first of the season. And the Aggies are right back at it with a takeaway. 26th of the season, top 5 in the country.
11th interception on the year, and that time just an underthrown ball. Certainly a lot of coverage back there and probably a poor decision, one that if you've got a veteran player maybe looks and decides just to tuck it down and try and get the yards that he can out of the play. But Sanders, young, trying to make a play for his offense in one of his rare attempts and chances to air it out. Drop back here, plenty of time and space to step into the throw. Sees his man, but everyone bailing off back there.
Too many white jerseys in the area. It's a great look from that vantage point as this pass is caught by Dax Raymond, the tight end. So you can understand what he was thinking, but severely underthrown into a sea of white.
And just seeing that many jerseys back there, probably a decision he's going to learn back on the sideline to avoid in the future.
And the give now to Lawan Hunt, brought down by Jack Floor for Air Force. 2nd and 5. Haven't seen too much of Hunt here tonight. And look at how fast Utah State is moving here. All 5 touchdown drives last week were under 220. Very speedy here tonight as well. Love looking for Roberts. He has it. That's a touchdown. Braylon Roberts hauls it in for the Aggies.
Flag down in the backfield.
It is back at the 46-yard line. 39-yard touchdown pass if it stands.
Holding, offense, number 70. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. 2nd down.
And it will not. Rob Castaneda, right guard, called for it. Take the touchdown off the board.
And a potential drive-killing penalty puts you in 2nd long, takes you from a big play, another big play for this offense, and now back behind the chains, the former junior college All-American from last season. Slowing down this frenetic pace that Coach Yost wants to keep up.
Yeah, but that offensive line's done a real nice job this year. Very consistent with that group up front. And you know what it's like when you played back in Notre Dame. I mean, to have that consistency and the camaraderie amongst those guys has been huge for them this year. Wright gets away from the first man, but they stretch it out, and he's going to be brought down by Jamel Sanders for Air Force, and the Falcons are now fired up.
This is a great job by them handling all of the movement before the snap by this Utah State offense, using this checks to try and move formations around, create matchups.
Right in the backfield on this set for Utah State. 3rd and 17.
Now we'll see on 3rd and long. Maybe they use the flood to the short side of the field, set up a screen and something just to get a chunk here.
Love looking the other way, and nobody home as he was under duress. And Lakota Wills got hit hard. He hits him hard that time. Wills, the outside linebacker, with a stick.
Air Force bringing more pressure here and getting home with it. The freshman, Lakota Wills. Not a lot of freshmen see the field in the academies in general, and here at the Air Force Academy, certainly no different. 6 weeks in basic training this summer.
Now they said that Love is a guy so intense and that he beats himself up. Coach Wells on the sidelines says, I don't even have to say stuff to him sometimes because he's already thinking it. Want to help try to build his confidence. And the fair catch by Cleveland inside of his own 10-yard line. 4-point lead, though, still for the Aggies. How about this on the Wings of Blue coming in, the parachuters here before the game tonight at Air Force.
Can't even get me up on the high dive. Can't imagine I would do all that well jumping out of the plane.
How awesome is that video coming from their GoPro on the top of the helmets coming in onto the field?
I think that's what the GoPro people had in mind when they first brought that to light.
Exactly. Here at the Air Force Academy tonight in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Mike Corey and Mike Golick Jr. to have you with us. Final day of the regular season. Final game here tonight as Air Force is back on offense. And the give for Taven Burdo.
Backed up in their own end zone here. Again, going back to that full house backfield look to expect more quarterback run.
Sanders. And they're all over it.
First to hit him is Mason Chubbuck.
Chase Christiansen right there, and they're starting to diagnose that set now, so you've got to show some other action off of it, whether it's a give to one of the running backs, whether it's a play action pass look. You can't let the interception make you afraid going forward of trying to get back into rhythm and give your quarterback a chance to air it out if you're confident in that ability for him.
3rd down and 7 now. Sanders got a block, able to get it out to Cleveland, who makes the catch. Now, where do they mark it? Or is that
another drop?
Incomplete. Yeah, they're going to call it incomplete. Didn't have possession of it before he was out of bounds.
And that was Cleveland again, who I think had the drop on the first attempt of the night for Isaiah Sanders. And again, when you've got a young quarterback just threw a pick, he just needs to see the ball go into somebody's hand. Now here comes that punt block unit.
See if they can get to him. Charlie Scott, the punter. Zach Van Leeuwen back to return. Fair catch, and Utah State is going to start at the Air Force 48-yard line when we come back.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Nissan. Innovation that excites.
That's the Garden of the Gods, a landmark here in Colorado Springs, made of red rock, formed millions of years ago. It attracts more than 2 million visitors a year. People can access 15 miles of trails, several biking paths, and if you're brave enough, you can climb the rock in some of these formations, but that requires a permit. Let's go to the dry chart here for Utah State. All right, so 2 touchdowns early, Mike. 71-yard run, 75-yard run. What's happened here as of late?
Air Force has gotten back to playing aggressive on defense and has found a way to stymie those big plays. And Utah State showing no ability to sustain drives right now.
And the redshirt freshman quarterback Jordan Love with time in the pocket. Over the middle, catch is made. Nice grab made by Dax Raymond, his tight end. They like this guy.
They really do. This an NFL caliber tight end, former high school wide receiver and quarterback who missed all last year with a back injury.
In the backfield for the first time tonight is the true freshman running back Trey Miller as well. And it's a reverse. Miller gets it to Aaron Vaughns. And Vaughns on a cutback, but they're going to lose yardage. So it's the second time we've seen that here tonight by this team.
Another great job by Love trying to throw a block, but that time the defense not fooled by the trick play here. And Utah State just needs to get back into their base offense, get some of those run-pass options, get the ball on the edge of the field, and try and take advantage of your athleticism.
2nd down and long as they look back to the sideline. Miller still in the backfield. Fake to Nelson. Now they try to dump it off of the screen to Miller, and Air Force is all over it. Shaquille Vereen was there on the first tackle for the Falcons along with Jack Floor.
Heard the defense calling that out the entire way. Clearly something they've seen on tape during the week. Tipped that off formation-wise, call-wise. Not fooled in the slightest, and now a 3rd and long. Expect another pressure here from the Air Force defense.
3rd down and 11. Love gets it out. Another screen set up. Nelson on the catch. He has the first down. And DJ Nelson all the way inside the 15-yard line. A gain of 20.
And if you're Air Force now, one of your worst parts of your game, the red zone. 106th in the nation in red zone percentage.
Miller in the carry to the 10. Picks up about 3.
Opponents converting 88% of their red zone trips into points. And conversely, on the other side, Utah State, 19th in the country.
Yeah, they've been very efficient in this area this season. Hunt now in the backfield, Lawan Hunt.
See if they get a pass off this look.
Second down, run by Hunt. Lawan Hunt gets in, touchdown. 11 yards on the score by Hunt.
And now we've seen both teams take advantage of complementary football, keeping the other opponent backed up, getting the ball near the middle of the field, and a nice, slow, sustained drive. Taking advantage of some big plays in the run game this time was Utah State.
Yeah, they got up to the line quickly, but they took a little bit of extra time looking back to make sure they had the right call in there. Hunt, his 10th rushing touchdown of the season. On Sunday, December 3rd, the exclusive reveal of the final college football playoff rankings and which 4 teams that make the playoff. Reese and the gang will unveil that. And New Year's 6 bowl games as well. Break it all down on our 4-hour special. Starts at noon Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. Sunday, December 3rd, the day we're all looking forward to.
Big decisions to be made. Found out today Stanford also going to be playing in the Pac-12 championship that really has more interest going forward now, especially for Southern Cal, sitting there with only 2 losses. And if you look at them, their one real big marquee loss to Notre Dame on the road in a hostile environment, a little bit easier to excuse than, let's say, Ohio State, who got drummed by a really average Iowa team earlier in the season, and a loss that's going to be difficult for the committee to justify. We've seen those big blowout losses can sometimes be as much of a hang-up as anything else.
Isaiah Sanders and Air Force back on the field here, down by 11 now from their 25. Option and the keeper for a couple. Ripped down by Mo Waske.
A lot of varied looks on the defensive front from Utah State, and that was something Coach Miley said they wanted to try and do to keep this off balance, especially when you've got a young quarterback. Don't give him the same front to try and identify and get reads against. And so you'll see that mix of 4 down, 3 down, and some pressure all throughout the night.
They fake the toss, and again, and it's Sanders spinning away, gets a few extra yards there. And Justice Tae on the tackle for Utah State. I mean, it's still an Air Force team that's 5th in the nation in rushing with all that they've had to go through this year. 3 different quarterbacks now, lost 32 seniors from last year. That's tough to take.
And that shows you the level of preparation by all these kids, both coaches valuing that attention to detail. And listen, the academy school is certainly no stranger to that, both on the field and in their lives at the academy.
3rd down. And it gives Stafford, and he's not going to get there. Let's go back to the studio here with Chris Cotter. Chris.
Good work, team.
All right, Chris, and their studio has been reduced by 1 after today's announcement. Normally Chris, Jonathan, and Chip Kelly, but we congratulate him on his new position at UCLA. And this kick goes backward here, and Air Force going to down it near the midfield line. And you were talking about it in the college football playoff. We'll have another ranking coming out Tuesday 1st before the final one on December 3rd. Here's what happened to the top 10 today.
Yep, you have number 1 and 2 going down, but you also look at this, Notre Dame going to drop out from the 8th spot there. So Ohio State and Penn State both move up with the wins as well. Going to be interesting now. Clemson with the win should vault to number 1 in this. Oklahoma going to move up as well. Wisconsin seems poised now to finally enter that top 4 that, if you listen to their fans, they've been beating that drum for a long time now. The only undefeated Power 5 team remaining after this weekend.
There's the give to Hunt, who just scored the touchdown for Utah State and picks up about 3. That's the thing. Everybody has been talking about all these other teams. Wisconsin is probably thinking, let's just do our job, keep winning the games, going to go to their conference championship game, and you win that, you cannot leave somebody out, right? Undefeated if you win your conference title. And that would be out of control if that was ever the case.
One of the very few teams remaining that controls their own destiny with the committee, which is a difficult thing to come by. As we know, the human committee has its drawbacks, and especially right now with all of the logjam of 1-loss teams and quality 2-loss teams.
Zach Van Leeuwen on the incompletion there, got the wind knocked out of him as he went to the turf, so he is out. It's 3rd down, Utah State. Trips to the top of the screen, and Love from the gun. They need the 40-yard line. And they're not going to get that. Hunt is knocked down just a yard, and Micah Capra the tackle for Air Force.
No 4th down attempt in their future this time. They're going to try and pin Air Force back and keep winning the field position battle.
Well, smart, not have a mistake here. You're up by 11 points. Pin them back like you said.
See if Air Force can get something in the way of a return here, just to try and flip this a little bit and get out of the shadow of your own end zone.
Cleveland. Fair catch. They're going to start inside the road 10-yard line with 2:47 to go in the half.
It's a Phil Knight birthday bash. 4 teams, 2 championships, 1 time only. Celebrate PK 80 tomorrow.
Happy birthday, Phil. And it's like a Final Four atmosphere in November in Portland, Oregon. The PK 80 Invitational rolls on tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. Eastern and at 10:30. 2 brackets, 2 championships, but think of the teams, and we might be seeing them, come March and April.
College basketball, Blue Bloods right there. And how about Phil Knight? I'm lucky if my mom remembers to send me a card and he gets a basketball tournament. What a life.
It's good stuff. And Air Force deep in their own territory here as Bordeaux carries for just 2 yards. It's crucial, though, here late in this first half. Air Force will get the ball to start the second half of the opening kickoff, but can you muster something here? Can you make some yardage, get a few first downs? Sanders breaking across the 15-yard line. Is going to set up a 3rd down and short.
And to your point, you've got all 3 timeouts, but you've got the length of the field to go. At some point, they're going to have to let their freshman quarterback air it out again, their sophomore quarterback air it out again and see if he can make something happen with his arm.
Bordeaux in the backfield with Williams and McVeigh. 3rd and short, Air Force. Sanders. Nice read, keeper first down across the 25 to the 26. And the clock will stop to move the chain with 1:47 to go.
You get that 4-down look here, and a good job capturing the edge. See his receivers, Tyler Williams going to work there on the edge, and that's what really makes the big runs in this offense, the ability of your slot backs and receivers to get out on the edge and just maintain. You don't have to go out there and do anything earth-shattering. Just get in front, hold your ground against that body. And your quarterback has shown you through the early portion of this game that he has the ability to make plays.
So far tonight for Sanders, 94 yards on the ground with 20 carries. That was Bordeaux on first for just 2. That's a toss and a reverse. And it's Cleveland. Ronald Cleveland getting the edge. Across the 40. Near midfield. Run out of bounds. And that's a solid one. And it was Garrett Amy that had it initially. Got it to Cleveland. And Sanders was even out there throwing a block.
Both quarterbacks getting a little bit involved in the run game as blockers, something that warms your heart as a former offensive lineman like myself. But now here's your chance to maybe take a shot downfield. You've got an opportunity. If it falls incomplete, you can stop the clock.
That was a 21-yard pickup. They'll fake the toss to McVay. Only the second pass attempt here tonight, and it is caught. And inside the 40, it's Cleveland. And a first down. The mark of the 35-yard line.
Cleveland making up for those couple of drops on the first pass receptions and those first throw attempts by his quarterback, making up for it with the end around and the big play there. Again, all 3 timeouts still at their disposal.
Sanders again. Oh, nice run inside the 25. That's a first down. Shane moves again. Should have said only 2 completions for Air Force tonight. They've thrown it a few more times than that, but just 2 completions. A big one, though, on this drive, and now whistles timeout Utah State with 31 seconds to play in this first half.
State has called their second timeout of the half.
Well, if there was a day that this season you needed the ESPN app, it was today. It's always your best friend. Stream every ESPN and ABC college football game live, at home, on the go. You had your Notre Dame up here today as we got into the booth. You're
Unfortunately.
using the app. Yeah, we're all using it. It's the best.
The app is the absolute best. The Notre Dame-Stanford game, not quite as much if you're watching it from the vantage point that I did, but a ton of great action all day today in a rivalry weekend that lived up to the hype from start to finish. On Friday, Miami and Pitt in a game that proved to be only the beginning of major playoff implication games on the weekend. It was really tremendous stuff.
That's when it all got started. Number 2 going down, the number 1 with Alabama falling today to Auburn. We're with you here tonight at Air Force, closing out the weekend.
We mentioned Bill Belichick and the Patriots out here practicing before. Air Force with a chance to do a very Patriot-esque move right now, getting points before the half and then receiving the opening kickoff with a chance to really double dip on both sides of that. It's something that Bill Belichick and company have really made a staple and a hallmark of their team. Maybe those were some of the words that Bill Belichick offered. Right. A little less terse than we're used to in the post-game pressers.
How great was that? They practiced here at Air Force, preparing for their game in Mexico City.
Got used to that altitude.
Yeah.
Clearly paid off for them. Beating up on a Raiders team that really disappointed this season, coming in a heavy favorite to maybe be a Super Bowl representative for the AFC.
NFL's crazy this year, isn't it? McVay in motion. Sanders dropping back. Flares it out, and it's incomplete. And looking that time for Marcus Bennett.
Had him open and just sailed it a bit, but really proud of this Air Force offense, allowing their quarterback to use his arm a little bit now. He's starting to get into some semblance of a rhythm, and this is an offense with spread principles that we've seen that's no stranger to airing it out now. Not all that well, 125th in passing offense in the nation, but
2 for 6 passing tonight for just 17 yards. 7th pass attempt here, and it's incomplete. Also has that 1 interception as well. Wanted to get Bennett, but it was Haney defending on the play. How important is it, though, here to get some points end of this first half?
It's huge, and that's why you'll probably see them go with a run right here. Still got the timeout, and then be able to maybe get 1 or 2 more plays off before you either get a first down and make something else happen, or at the very least keep yourself in field goal position.
Right, you've always got that reserve with Luke Strabel, the field goal kicker, who's second all-time in field goal percentage, 85% for this Air Force team. Well within his range. Sanders, oh, can they get the first, though, and keep it going? He's spinning down to the 15, and it's close. 14-yard line, they're going to give it to him. Great spot for the Falcons. 13 seconds left in this first half. And they take the timeout.
Air Force has called their first timeout of the half. Full timeout.
The extra effort plays by Isaiah Sanders all night. Great call on another quarterback design run, and then just staying it up squirming, spinning, trying to do anything he can, knowing how huge that first down is that would stop the clock, allow them to call one of their timeouts, and give them another chance at the end zone.
You got two chances here, really. 13 seconds left, your two timeouts.
Two timeouts, a run not completely out of the question here if you want to try and pick up some yardage, and then a pass that either you get off in time, set up for that field goal, if need be.
Well, Sanders is already over 100 yards rushing. That is the 6th different player this season for Air Force to rush for 100+. That's pretty good. Well, that's what they do, obviously. 5th in the nation in rushing. Had a season-high 550 yards at Nevada. School record 91 carries. A few games back when
made his second appearance last week when Romine went down with that collarbone injury that ended this season. And how about, you want to talk about replacing experience? Romine, the first quarterback in Air Force history to start a game in 5 seasons, had the medical turn back for them. They don't redshirt around here, but got to stick around for that 5th season. Yeah, done something that no one else has done in the history of this program.
That's right, a rare 9 semesters for him, but as you said, with a broken collarbone. Worthman also banged up with a knee injury, not able to go tonight. So it's Isaiah Sanders, 3rd ever career game, first start. Looking good so far, needing points here at the end of this half. Can they get it? Sanders, shot for the end zone, Bennett, and he has it. It's ruled a touchdown. Marcus Bennett on the catch.
And they'll get under the hood on this one because it looked very close. The referee had a great angle on it.
Pass interference, defense, number 13. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
Well, let's take a look at this here.
Going to be very interested because in full speed it looked like he was a bit wide.
I didn't think he came down in bounds. Yeah,
bounds.
That's what I thought initially, that he didn't get the foot down in bounds. So now you have that penalty on Utah State, so you're obviously going to take that because he clearly does not come down in bounds with the football.
No, and it looked wide on the field, even wider on the replay here now, but that penalty is a great bailout.
Absolutely. I mean, that's why I said it was ruled a touchdown, because I initially thought he didn't get that foot down there on the sideline. That's pretty evident from that replay.
We call that indisputable video evidence.
Correct. Now, this should be overturned, but now they'll take that pass interference penalty on Utah State. And that's going to move the football down with 8 seconds to go in this first half.
And well within a range where you've got the full array of your playbook at your disposal. And we've seen plenty of quarterback runs. If you want to keep him in that shotgun formation and make sure the defense has to guess and play both the run and the pass.
After further review, the ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. The pass interference will be enforced. That pass interference penalty occurred in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. First down.
And if you look right here, coming down out of bounds, that first foot about clear as day. End up even being the right foot. You see the turf come up there, which is usually a marker. And as we see them get back down here under center, I'm putting it in the hands of my quarterback all day. He has shown you that ability to get big yardage when it matters and fight for that extra inch. Let Sanders take you home.
Sanders. And he does! Isaiah Sanders, touchdown, Air Force. Mike, you called it. They were listening to you.
What a gutsy drive with a little bit of everything. You saw big plays, first in the run game with the end around for Cleveland. Then Sanders hits him on the big pass in the middle of the field. You saw opening up and using more of that passing attack. Even when it fell short, at least made the defense have to worry about that as an option. And now with that, it makes those running lanes for Sanders that much wider.
What a drive to end the half. This started at their own 9-yard line. as the extra point is good to make it a 4-point ball game. They go 91 yards in 11 plays, leaving just 4 seconds on the clock.
And now we mentioned they get the ball to start the second half, and with this kind of confidence going into the halftime locker room, and you see just following his lead blocker there in Jacob Stafford, the fullbacks who, listen, as offensive linemen, we put it on ourselves when we've got a young quarterback, but the fullback is about as honorary an offensive lineman as you can get in the backfield. And that time, Sanders smart enough to follow his big fellow to the promised land and really has to be impressing the hell out of his teammates tonight with the effort that he's put forth. You see him cut, you see him bruised, and it doesn't matter. He has shown up time and time again in the run game, and now in that drive, finally getting some confidence with his arm.
Well, that's one that they can hang their hats on for sure. And going into next season as well, you know, with a guy like Sanders to be backed up right against your own goal line there and take a drive down the field at the end of the half, that was impressive. And how about the offensive line, as you mentioned, you know, being one yourself, you know, what's your grade on what they've done, you know, up front in a group that's been pretty consistent this season, you know, with a young team?
It really has been, and for an offense that, listen, we know is largely one-dimensional, to be able to go out there and execute. You're undersized, you're working against the defense that's going to try and give you multiple looks, and you're still doing everything you can to keep your young quarterback clean. This is a group that he might owe a dinner after this game.
Little squibber here, and they're going to have a chance at a play. It's down, and Trey Miller
reps the kickoff and goes down. First down, Aggies.
And Jordan Love, redshirt freshman, in his 5th career start. 3-1 as a starter are the Aggies, and a team that has won 3 straight on the road for the first time since 2012. They've been playing very well away from home, averaging almost 46 points during that road winning streak. And Love tonight, 80 yards through the air. And they line up to, looks like, to take a shot here potentially with 3 seconds, or did he just take a knee and go to halftime? We'll see. Gerald Bright's in the backfield. 4 receiver set.
Knowing Coach Yost doesn't seem like the take a knee kind of guy.
No. We'll go safe with a run, though, to Bright. And that's how the half is going to end up. That'll do it for us. Chris Connor and Jonathan Vilma are standing by on the other side of this break with a halftime report, and we'll hear from them in just a little bit. Utah State 21-17 at the half.